If you think the Israel-Iran war won't affect you, then you're thinking wrong. This dangerous war that lasted just 11 days shook the faith of those who considered the US dollar the most powerful safe haven weapon of America. What I'm about to tell you, your savings account and pension fund could permanently destroy. So, watch this video till the end, because this story might decide your financial future. A war that barely made headlines in the news since 2008 triggered the biggest financial earthquake. While everyone in the Middle East was watching missiles, something far more dangerous was unfolding in the shadows of global finance. Let's decode it. For decades, whenever the world has been in crisis, investors have run to one place, the powerful US dollar. It was considered a permanent safe haven, a financial fortress that never fell. But this time, something was different. As Israel's jets flew into Iran's airspace and ballistic missiles carved arcs of death across the desert sky, something unprecedented happened. The dollar didn't rise, it fell. And what investors did will change everything you think about investing. Look at this picture at 3:47 a.m. local time, June 12, 2025, over Iran. In the darkness, Israel's F-35 stealth fighters are gliding through the night like mechanical ghosts. In Tel Aviv, military commanders claimed they had solid evidence that Iran isn't just enriching uranium, it's preparing for something much bigger. And Israel's missiles struck their targets with surgical precision. But what happened next turned a regional conflict into a global financial crisis. Within just a few hours, Iran's retaliation was swift and devastating. After waves of ballistic missiles and kamikaze drones, Israel's military bases were turned into burning hellscapes. For 11 days, the world watched breathlessly as two powerful countries attacked each other. But while CNN was showing burning buildings and diplomatic meetings, the real action was happening somewhere else. On trading floors from New York to Tokyo, something was happening that had never happened before. Imagine you're a millionaire hedge fund manager. War breaks out in the Middle East. Your playbook says, buy dollars, buy US Treasury bonds, play it safe. Smart investors have been doing this for 80 years. But not this time. Instead of strengthening, the dollar began losing its value like a punctured balloon. Against the euro, yen, and Swiss franc, it fell to its lowest level since 2022. US Treasury bonds, the so-called risk-free investment that governments and pension funds worships. Money was fleeing it like passengers escaping a sinking ship. Meanwhile, gold surged past $2,300 per ounce. Oil shot up to $81.40 per barrel like a rocket. Traders were betting against America's financial dominance. But here's the real kicker. This wasn't panic selling. It was calculated, deliberate, and coordinated. Smart investors weren't just fleeing the dollar. They were betting on its end. Why would investors abandon the world's most powerful currency in a time of crisis? The answer lies in three dirty secrets that Wall Street doesn't want you to know. Secret number one, America is drowning in debt. While politicians argue over spending, the US government is spending on interest payments more money than on defense every single day. Think about this. America spends more money than on its own security just to pay the interest on its debt. Secret number two, the great dollar exodus had already begun. Months before the first missile was launched, the central banks of China, Brazil, and India were quietly dumping the dollar. They saw what was coming. Secret number three, trust is vanishing. For decades, in the role of financial policeman, America's role gave the dollar its strength. But investors were asking a dangerous question. If America can't even stop a war in the Middle East, can we really trust them with our investments? The Iran-Israel conflict didn't create these problems. It exposed them. And once exposed, there was no going back. But the real nightmare was still yet to come. Picture a narrow strip of water, just 21 miles wide at its narrowest point. It doesn't look like much on a map. But the Strait of Hormuz is the modern world's economic jugular vein. On any given day, 20% of the world's oil passes through this tiny channel. That's 21 million barrels, enough to fuel entire nations. When Iran's gunboats were circling like sharks and Israel's submarines were hiding in the depths, oil traders were confronted with a terrifying possibility. What if Iran decides to shut down the strait? The math was simple and brutal. Oil could shoot to $110 a barrel overnight. Gas prices would explode. Supply chains would collapse. Global finance would suffer a heart attack, though Iran held back from this option. The mere threat sent tremors through every major oil market on Earth. Emergency reserves were activated. Panic buying began. While missiles were flying and diplomats were scheming, something historic was unfolding in the boardrooms and government chambers around the world. The BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, were no longer just talking about alternatives to the dollar. They were building them, payment systems, currency swaps, gold-backed transactions, the infrastructure of a post-dollar world. Middle Eastern countries, America's loyal allies for decades, were quietly exploring oil contracts in yuan, euro, and even digital currencies. Gold wasn't just rising, it was being hoarded by institutions like the last water in a desert. This wasn't just a market correction. These were the opening stages of a financial revolution. History is written by winners, but financial history is written by markets. And markets have just sent a message that will echo for generations. For 80 years, the US dollar has ruled global finance. Unchallenged, unquestioned, untouchable. But kings can fall. Empires can collapse, and currencies can die. The Iran-Israel conflict lasted only 11 days, but its impact on global finance could last 11 decades. We're witnessing the first cracks in the foundation of American financial dominance. Whether those cracks turn into fault lines or get patched will shape the economic future of every person on this planet. The war in the Middle East may be over, but the war for the future of money, that has just begun. What do you think? Are we witnessing the slow death of the dollar dominance? Or is this just another bump on the road for America's financial power? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read everyone. If you love stories where history, geopolitics, and economics collide in a way that blows your mind, hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. We dive deep into the events that reshape the world while others stay on the surface. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next.